Live on stage, the sound
of Orlando.
So, is they ready?
Yes.
The sound
of Orlando.
What is going on, party people? What is going on? You know what time it is. It is time for the Sound of Orlando show. I am your brother Rome. And, like I said, we made it to another week, man. Grateful. All the artists that were supposed to be on this week came through, which is awesome. It's amazing what happens when you put brothers and sisters together and make something happen. And this is what we're doing. This is what the show is about. It's about talking to our people and letting them know, hey, man, we out here, man. We exist. This is a city that is long overdue with the props, with the stories, with the insight, with the connection, with the, collaborative, with all the above, man. We need this. We've been needed that, man. So, I'm very honored to do this show for our city. So welcome to the Sound of Orlando show. Before we get into our next guest, just want to say really quick, man, for a lot of people out there, man, who are going through some things, please remember there is a phone number somewhere. Call your brother, call your cousin, nephew, whoever. You're not alone. Don't let the world tell you that you're alone. If you need to talk to somebody, man, please do, because this is part of what the show is about, man, talking to each other as human beings and seeing where everyone is coming from, man, because everybody's got a story to tell. I'm not from the school of making the circle small. I'd rather enlarge the circle. It's a big world out here, man, and there's a lot of our tribe scattered all over the world. You just got to talk to them. So with that said, this next guest that I'm bringing on, man, represents our city well, man. He's legendary in these streets as far as emceeing, as far as doing, collaborative projects with people. He's part of, a consortium, if you will, Beer Money Unlimited, Grand Collab, the Beat Ministry, Vets of Kin. I mean, literally, like he's been a part of legendary projects and a part of great people that are continuing to evolve and push our culture, this thing of ours, forward in our city. And I'm very honored to have him on tonight. I think his story needs to be told in our city, that not everything is sweet. When you're trying to do this music, man, there's so many hurdles, so many things that may stand in your way. And this brother seems to persevere through it all. So without further ado, let me bring on the legendary battle MC, lyrical MC, an MC's MC, the one and only Shinobi Stalin. Let's go. What's up, my brother?
Yo, peace. Yo, that was the most incredible intro I've ever gotten in my life.
I heard that, man.
And then hearing all those names, I'm like, yo, I know a lot of niggas.
Right, bro. Come on, man. Talk about it, brother. We got to give our flowers while we're here, brother.
Yeah, man,
shit,
salute.
Tomorrow is not promised. So, yes, glad to have you on this show. It's been long overdue. We're gonna chop it up about a lot of things. Before we got on the show, you were like, man, I don't know what the hell you're doing with this show. And I'm telling you the damn truth. I'm reflecting that light right on back to you. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just rolling with it because this is so necessary for our city. I don't know what it looks like to everyone out there. We've been on COVID, shut down, now we're opening back up. So I'm starting to really talk to the people to gauge what this looks like out there, man. So, man,
Orlando's open.
Me know.
Orlando's open, man.
Man,
people are out here.
I heard that, brother. I heard that.
People out here, man. Just go wear a mask. Like, just go wear a mask and don't be an asshole, man.
That part. So yeah, man. Let's get into how you started out in hip hop for the people that don't know who Shinobi Stalin is, and just describe, your comeuppance, if you will, in the Orlando hip hop scene.
Okay. Well, as most people from Orlando, I was born in the Bronx, right? I was born in New York.
Shout out to the BX.
Yeah, so I moved here when I was 5, so I'm Orlando to the death, regardless, right? Um, I had most of my family's from New York. I spent my summers in New York, and me and my brother actually got into skateboarding, and I started rapping at about 11, and it was because my brother would freestyle after we would skateboard, and so I just started following what my older brother did, and from there I would battle at school, and then we found out about these Hush shows in high school, which Conscious used to run. Shout out to Conscious, and that's where I met like cats like Am I Am and Midas the Beast and Madness and Critical and Remington Steele, SPS. We'd all
Man,
Mondays and battle, So from there, it was just I thought I was the only one on my side of town doing shit, and then I realized that it was a whole, like a whole crew of just hip hop cats, and from there it just kept happening. Oh, now I'm old enough to go to shows. Now I'm going to shows. Oh, doing open mics. I'm rapping at the open mics now. Oh, I can actually perform at one of these shows, and and it snowballs. It snowballs from the battles actually.
right. You said what for a lot of people they, feel like Orlando does kind of present a rouge, if you will. From the outside looking in, sometimes it looks like we have no clue what hip hop is. We're just kind of, the import export company of Florida. Like we just kind of,
Word.
all right, what should we hear, Atlanta? What should we hear, New York? And but you just said something very serious. Like, yo, there was a hip hop scene out there. Like there was people out here doing their thing, and you listed a litany of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, and not even that. You forget, like, my fault, but you forget, like, the bass scene. You know what I'm saying? Magic Mike was out here.
Right,
like,
right.
There was always been the Jack the Rapper conference was by people out. So there's a lineage of it. It's just people, the mouse kind of clouds everything. They don't know that real people actually live here.
Right. What was that like for you meeting these people? Because like I say, you went down a list of people that are legends in this city and have done a lot for this city. What was it like kind of seeing their work and what they were doing and, in comparison to, like you said, a New York and other places? What did it feel like for you stepping into that scene?
I felt like I finally belonged somewhere, if that makes any sense. Like
dope.
Like because before, I grew up on the east side of town. A lot of times I grew up in the suburbs, so I was the only colored kid around. You know what I mean? Like we got into skateboarding and surfing, but we were still kind of, outsiders trying to assimilate to, suburban society. And then, you meet these guys and you're just like, oh shit, they're into the same stuff I am. There's actually people that, have the same interest as me. And then you listen to them rap and you're like, yo, I fucking suck. I got to get better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're only used to battling your circle. Like me and shout out to Juan Pierre, my partner from back in the day.
Yeah.
We were battling each other. We were battling cats at school and they weren't as good as us. So like to run into like Johnny Storm and Midas, who went to I went to Colonial, they went to Winter Park. Like that was crazy. Like, like damn, these niggas are so much better than us. What do we got to do to get better? So it kind of like started me personally. I only got good because I kept doing it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't naturally gifted at this rap shit. I had to actually try to get good.
Right. Well, and describe that. I want your opinion on that or your insight on that. What's the difference between people that, to your point, naturally are gifted that way and people that have to try and work hard? Talk about that aspect of it.
It's especially for like emceeing and what I've seen when it comes to just artists in general is if you're naturally gifted at something, you don't appreciate the wins as much as someone that had to work harder to get it.
Right.
Like I've seen a lot of cats who were really good, man, but they didn't have to try as hard, so they didn't try as hard, if that makes sense.
Right. It does. It does.
So, I guess like for me personally, it just instilled that like this is like, this is like kung fu, this is like jujitsu or whatever. Like you have to keep working on your craft. If not, you're not going to be good. You know?
Right. What made you go into emceeing? Because I tell people all the time, man, we're like an MC capital. We're
Yeah,
like a DJ capital. We're like a producer capital.
yeah.
There's
I
so many
put in
people.
Orlando over anybody, bro.
Right. There's so many people at this thing of ours, uh, that just basically just, I mean, would break any assumptions you ever had on this city. But
Yeah.
what turned you, if you will, towards emceeing?
Um, I would say besides just following my brother, like it would be like I would see cats like the youngsters. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the youngsters,
Like
man.
that
Yes.
that No Mercy album, it was like life changing for me. Like seeing kids that were my age rapping that good, like Shaheem and stuff, and A+. Like those dudes were, they
Shout out to Shaheem. He's going to
yeah.
be on the show next month.
Oh,
So,
word,
yes.
word. Yeah, man.
Continue.
Like, yeah, it was just I was seeing them do it, and I'm like, then I can do this. Like
Right.
and when you're at that impressionable age of like 11 and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You get into what you get into because of your environment. And I was watching all these videos, I was buying these tapes, and I was just enamored with hip hop. Like,
Right.
and me being born in the Bronx and all that, like it's a part of me. It's always been a part of me. Like I remember putting tinfoil in my mouth for gold teeth, and the 4-finger rings, and listening to Eric B and Rakim when I was little, and the Fat Boys, and like my first birthday, my brother's breakdancing to Beach Street. So like
Right.
it's like ingrained in you a little
Right.
bit. And then as you're young, you're going through puberty, and it just blossoms. Like, oh shit, this is what I want to do. I want to do this.
Man, and you talk about the schools and battling in schools.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I used to go to Howard Junior High, and that was like, I mean, I grew up downtown,
Yeah.
so like, it was always the thing to do in the morning, right before the bell rings. I'm in 7th grade battling, the 9th graders, and and it just felt like you said, it felt like the thing to do, to be a part of. Like it just fit.
Yeah.
You know, talk about, like you said, you're starting to perform now. You're starting to see that it could be taken seriously. What were some of the things that you had to change about yourself to, or evolve into to take it seriously?
I would probably say don't take I learned to not take, like, if I wasn't asked to be on a show to open up for somebody, that it wasn't a personal attack on me. You know what I'm saying? And my character.
Right.
That, I learned that if I wanted to get on these things, I just had to get better. You know what I mean? The music had to get better, and the performances had to get better. I lucked out because I had all these great MCs like Am, Migraine, Murdoch, J Biz. I had Critical Madness. I had all these guys who were my friends, and I could watch them. Like Soliloquist of Sound. You're watching these people perform, and you're like, okay, they're doing it this way. So how can I infuse what they're doing with what I'm doing and still be me? So it was just it became a lot of studying. It became I had to learn, like, just because I can rap does not mean I deserve to be on that stage.
Right. Well, how important is that philosophy? Because for a lot of people, they feel like they're entitled to something. Like they're entitled to get their record played.
Yeah.
They're entitled to, perform or be at whatever hobnobbing is involved, or just to be a part of the crowd, if you will. But then, as a result, they'll be resentful and then create a different crowd of people that, okay, well, we can't do what they're doing, so fuck them. And so talk about how important that is to be in that mindset, especially with this thing of ours, because we live in a time where everyone seems to, at least, if not do it as a hobby, are doing it in some form or fashion.
Yeah, I think there's a there's a thin line you walk with being confident and delusional. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, this entitlement thing comes from the instant gratification they get from their inner circle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What I'm lucky enough to have people that'll tell me, you know, if my bars are trash, or you could say this better, or you could have performed that better. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people only have their inner circle, and their inner circle doesn't do what they do, so they think what they're doing is good. They don't have any peers in their craft, I would say.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and that can be annoying. Like, you know, that can be. I've definitely seen a lot of like those type of entitlements. I've even seen that type of entitlements among niggas I know. You know what I'm saying? That think
Right.
they're entitled to be a part of something when actually you're not. If that's up to the person that wants to involve you. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad that they're not involved. It might suck, but that's on them. Go do something else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, like when you were talking about that split too, like, oh, they're not fucking with us, so we're gonna do our own thing. That happens in like every scene too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
You
It's
know?
bigger than Orlando.
No,
but
it's just it's a human thing, man. It's just a human
Right.
thing. You know?
Right. Which, truth be told, it doesn't necessarily make it a good or bad thing, because for a lot of people, you know, this thing of ours created a lane for us to all somewhat have a chip on our shoulder.
Yeah.
We're telling the story of where we come from.
Yeah.
You know, your block is different from my block. You know, your whatever you had to do to struggle is different than the way I had to struggle. So we're all carrying this proverbial chip on our block. But if based on that premise, do you feel we could do better as a hip hop community in dealing with each other, knowing that, okay, well, it's not necessarily about whose story is told, more so that our story is told?
I don't know, man. That's like because I'm a realist, right? And I have no faith in humans. You know what I mean? So,
Right. Right.
like, I don't expect certain cats to participate in certain shit. Like, I know I've at least tried over the years to, you know, extend my hand out just in certain circles. You know what I'm saying? Just to let
Right.
people know that it's okay. It's okay to fuck with the rap niggas. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's okay if you make club music or trap or whatever. Like, it's okay to come fuck with us too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
we might be able to learn something from you, and you might be able to learn something from us, right?
Right.
Like, you know, like even a little thing. Like, I've been to some of these shows, some of these showcases, and, you know, cats will rhyme on their vocals, and I'll pull them aside and be like, "Yo, what you're doing is dope. Just get rid of the vocals, and you're good. Take the training wheels off, and you'll kill these cats because you'll be 10 steps ahead of them already." You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that. But like, I don't know anymore, man. I've been around way too long. I'm becoming one of the old men. You know what I'm saying? I'm the grumpy old man now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's good for anything. You know what I'm saying? Just if you need me for a show, I got you. I'll put on a great performance and we're good to go. I don't know if I can, you know, unite something that was splintered before I got here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're telling no lies right there, because for a lot of people, it does seem overwhelming to kind of reach out to people, and then not everybody's suited to necessarily deal with each other's characters and how they come across. And
Yeah.
a lot of people need to feel comfortable with people before they work with them. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of variables that keep people kind of in their own pocket, if you will.
Yeah.
But you grew up, you know, or raised up in Orlando,
Yep.
in the hip hop scene.
Yep.
What's your take on the hip hop community here, and how, like you alluded to it, you said, you know, what about the guys from maybe the west side of town?
Yep.
For those that don't know about Orlando is damn near divided up by genre.
Yep.
If you go to the east side, you're gonna hear a lot of, you know, the boom bap and the real shit. And, you know, you go to the west side, you're gonna hear a lot of the newer stuff. You go to the south side, you're gonna feel or hear a lot more of the Latin representation of music.
Yep.
So for you, what does that mean to you? Does it mean to you that like you said, it's difficult to even try to unite that kind of dynamic? Or, as you were coming up in the hip hop world, were you seeing people kind of getting you and understanding you that wasn't necessarily from your ilk, if you will?
Yeah, I was seeing it after a while. Like skill, skill gets you through a lot of doors. You know what I'm saying? Like skill and performance. Like people forget. Like back in the day when when Jesse Jazz and all them were doing stuff. There might be a show where Mad Ills is performing, me and I Am are performing, and fucking Trio's performing, or West
Right.
Fifth. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the problem I see, like with the disconnect, is always just the disconnect between the you have the west side of town, which is predominantly black people that have lived here their whole lives, right? Born
Right.
here. And then
Right.
the east side of town, you have everyone from New York.
Right.
So there's that difference. And then also culturally, you have grandmothers on the west side that have never even been to the east side because they weren't allowed to go to the east side.
Right. Man,
So
bro,
they
you dropping bombs already.
there's already
we're
a
20
whole
minutes into the show and you
Yeah.
dropping bombs. Continue, my brother.
Yeah, there's still like there's a whole culture on the west side of town that what I'm saying is not the same as the east side of town. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Honestly, the west side of town is more Orlando than the east side of town if you really want to keep it real. You know what I mean? So
Man.
it's the only way a lot of that stuff works is you got to get the cats on that side of town that do shows and rap. Got to get them into the venues that we do shows and rap at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a lot of times either they're ignorant to how to get the shows or they don't think they can get the shows.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
throwing the show is throwing money at the venue, make your own shows, And
Right.
a lot of us will be like, all right, we're gonna do a show and we're only gonna have MC, A, B, and C. We're not gonna bring anybody new, anybody young. You know what I'm saying? Like I always at least try to bring somebody young, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who doesn't necessarily do shows, but give them an opportunity to show and prove,
Right. Talk about
Peace, Cuzzo. I see you.
talk about the battle rap scene in Orlando, because for a lot of people, they have no clue that this was probably the root of the battle leagues now and how everything came together with that. Talk about that aspect of Orlando and how you were involved with that.
Okay. Well, I was only involved secondary, right? So
Right.
when I was battling before I retired, because I retired like by 18, 19, I was done. I'm not battling rapping no more, right? So, but when we used to battle rap, it was like you pull your name out of a hat, you got a minute, and you freestyle, right?
Right.
Shout out to Direct, man. Direct started people don't know Direct started Grind Time in Orlando.
Right.
So those long form type of battles with no beat.
Right.
That was directing them. So we would go to all these battles, you know what I'm saying? My boy Cap Callis and J Biz, they would host. And I was just there as a bystander watching it happen, man. Like I would attend the events, but I wouldn't, I never got involved, but I would just enjoy going to the events. But that stuff did start here with with like dudes like Johnny Storm and Madness and these guys, you know what I'm saying? Direct trying to get this battle stuff because he was big into the battle, you know what I mean? So
right. What was your take on the battle scene? Like, because it's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
A lot of people swear by it, die by it, that's everything to them. I literally, for a minute, I had at least 200 or 300 battle rappers within my Facebook friend feed. And, literally they lived and breathed it. Like everything was, everything they posted was
battle rap.
Battle rap.
Yeah.
What is your take on it? I like to know, as someone that was at least a part of it from that POV. What did you think, or what do you think of battle rapping in its form now? And is it something to kind of and only reason I'm asking this is because for a lot of people, yes, it's kind of like boxing with words.
Yeah.
But then you have situations in which it just seems like it's something that not necessarily is a good representation of hip hop. It seems at times that it can have a negative overtone to it, in that where you hear a lot of the battle rappers, all this gun talk. Who are they going to shoot?
Yep.
How are they going to shoot you?
That's the New York style.
Right. And it's just, well, it's catching on to the rest of the country. There's a lot of people doing it.
I like to put those, like, you have the school of the gun bars, and then you have the school of the make fun of you bars, right?
Right. Like I'm from that school. I'm from that school.
I like people to make fun of each other, but I appreciate some of the gun bars because they're dope. But honestly, man, like, I was into battle rap, and then I kind of got over it because, like, as I would attend these shows, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, like, this shit would be full of dudes and a bunch of fucking dorks, and me and my niggas would be the only ones in there, like, that are actually cool, you know what I mean? Right. Stop going to the shows. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, so these guys got 3 months to prepare. They got their boys helping them write bars. Like, it like, fake beefs. It becomes like fucking wrestling. And it's needed, though, because it's dope, right? These cats is actually putting their pens.
Right. But it's another form of our hip hop.
But it's a slam dunk contest, man.
Right.
Like, if you focus, like, as an MC, if you focus just on battle rap, you're not gonna make good music, man. It's very rare. It's very rare. Right. That's why a lot of them dudes will stop doing that and just go to making music and shit. But I'm not, like, if it's a big battle, I might watch it, but I'm not, dude. I don't pay attention to that shit no more, man. Fucking, you're gonna tell me I gotta write a 3-minute fucking poem about another nigga, man. I'm cool. Like,
yo.
But salute to the battle rappers, man, because they do shit that I can't, like. And I'm disrespectful with my rhymes a lot, but, like, them niggas be like, I don't know how they hang out together too. I don't want to hang out with people like that.
I mean, like you said, I think you gave a great analogy, which is like wrestling.
Yeah.
If hip hop wasn't so seriously or taken seriously, because for a lot of people it is taken seriously. Where part of what we love about it is the braggadocious, is the kind of like I'm better than you. It's dope. But for the outside view, I'm being nice about it. But for the outside view, do you feel that it is used as maybe a wedge, if you will, for this thing of ours, in a way that maybe we're celebrating now, but maybe this could come back to haunt us later, if you will?
I think what's really happened, though, is we've had a situation where people don't want to hear music no more. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm seeing right now. Is like I'm seeing that, but then I'm also seeing that, like, even just locally, you'll have a battle that has nothing to do with the music scene.
Right.
And shouldn't it kind of be both?
No, you're right. I mean, well,
but I could be wrong, though, because I'm not going to, I'm actually, like, I feel like there's a way we could bring that back together. Like, when Rugged and Am were doing the spit camps at AKA back in the day, like, you'd have performances, but you'd also have battles, you know what I mean, in between.
Right. You made a good point. Should it be about, I think maybe what you were alluding to is the culture. Should it be about the culture? Because when it's about the culture, it's almost like everything can be involved, right? Like, you can have a DJ there, or you can have, some producers there, and you can have some dancers there. And it seems like it becomes more diverse versus what you described as a proverbial sausage party. You know, that's what I kind of when I see it in the form that it is now. I love battling. I love the idea. I love the whole idea of it because it's about your wit. It's about, you know, kind of um, not necessarily shaming, but actually letting people know your sword is sharp.
Yeah, and I
You
appreciate
know,
a good joke, man. I appreciate a good joke. I appreciate
right.
feeling of
Um,
ego. It's great. You know what I'm saying? It's dope.
Fresh Prince, he was a fucking battle maniac. Like
Yeah,
he would literally have you laughing like Eddie Murphy
yeah,
when he battled. Um, you know, LL Cool J,
yeah.
as crazy as he was lyrically with that pen, there was all kinds of funny shit in what he was saying.
Yeah.
You know, do you think we should go back to that? And I know we're going long on the battling, but you know, as a fellow hip hopper, as a fellow MC, you know, um, do you think we should go back to the comedy versus the gun talk?
Oh, it's there. It's there. It's just it just depends on what battles you're watching. You know what I'm saying? There's still people making
Right.
fun of each other. There's still gun bars. It's just, you know, right now, you know, after, you know, the dismantling of some of these battle leagues, all you got is what, Smack now or whatever.
Right.
And you know, like if that's mostly East Coast. Like but then again, I don't know shit about battle rap anymore. I don't know what's going on the West Coast because those dudes were the ones that were making fun of niggas, right? So I'm really the last nigga to ask about battle rap. I mean, you ask me
Right.
fucking Sega Genesis video games, I got you. But
Shout out to Sega. Let's talk about the concept of you becoming an album maker, if you will, a writer, and transitioning from that particular phase. I remember when I was young, you know, all I did was freestyle. I never wrote anything.
Yep.
And my man's was like, dude, you got to write something down, man, so we could make a song. And I didn't grasp that concept because all I wanted to do was rhyme.
Yeah, all you did rhyme. It was just about you being the illest MC or whatever.
Right. Talk about what went into, you know, you converting all your training into becoming an artist, if you will. You know, going from the MC aspect and now constructing songs.
It's the goal. The goal is to make music, and we didn't have the funds or the equipment, right? So back in the day when we first started rapping, it was karaoke machines and a CD of an instrumental, and you record the tape and you pass the mic around, right? And a lot of times we'd write our rhymes and we would just have to pass the mic, and if you messed up, then you start all over. So you kind of get used to writing. We got used to writing around 15, 16. And after that, we started getting computers, right? And then we got software that can make beats. So we're making beats now. Now we're constructing songs. So it's just a natural process. And then, you know, the older you get, the more equipment you get, the more you learn different tricks. Oh, this guy records this way. Let me try this. Let me get this. Let me get this program. Oh, if I get a mixer and I plug it into the input jack on my desktop, it just started naturally, I guess, happening.
Right.
And after a while of doing it so much, you just start to naturally, oh, okay, I don't gotta write a battle rap every time. I can write a song about this. Or, you know what I'm saying? I can write a song about a chick. I can write a song about political shit. I can write a song about how depressed I am. I can actually open up and say those things. Because, you know, a lot of cats, I just want to say this, like a lot of cats that rap never want to talk about themselves. And that's what makes them endearing to people. You know what I'm saying?
Man, he just dropped another jewel on Orlando tonight. Dude, like that's everything. That's what makes an artist an artist.
Yeah.
You go past creating impressions and then likenesses to actual abstract, which is, you know, about you. People are complicated. People have probably the hardest time expressing that part of them when it comes to MCing.
Themselves in the mirror too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a vulnerability, which is a contradiction to what MCing may be at times, because in order to be the swag, sometimes you have to have, some sort of vulnerability in your bag.
Yeah.
To your point, talking at people and actually talking to people.
Yep.
Tupac was great at that.
Yeah.
He was literally having conversations over beats, letting people know who the hell he was, how crazy he was, how contradictory he was. And that gave people insight to him in a way that to this day, they love the shit out of him. Same thing with Biggie.
Yep.
He came in with the shit. It was all a dream.
Yeah.
Like, talk about what that is for you. What kind of process, or what kind of thought pattern goes into being vulnerable? I'm gonna just ask you straight up. Does it require more courage on your part to allow that space to exist without feeling like normally your circle is the first people to understand, but sometimes it's the broader audience that gets it first, and then your people get it.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like for you as an MC to really dig that deep, if it is that deep, and then actually be able to put that into a song?
It can be hard sometimes, but I feel that at least at my advanced age, I've become self-aware about my faults and those types of things, so I can actually put them on the songs. And then, like, I think about most of my favorite songs are those types of songs on albums anyway. The
Right.
So, I make the music I like, and why should I be ashamed of being me? You know what I'm saying? Why should I be scared of talking about me? I know there's somebody who's going to get it. I know there's a kid who grew up exactly like me. You know what I'm saying? Grew up skateboard, surfing, might be the only colored kid in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Dealt with racism. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sits in the middle of racial ambiguity and shit. Like, I know there's somebody out there. There's billions of people on Earth. So why not speak to them? Why not speak to them? I have enough of me with the MC suit on. You know what I'm saying? It's time to really talk about some deep shit, because that's the stuff that stays with people forever.
I mean, I think that mindset is completely and utterly dope. I don't think there is a lose.
Yeah.
The first person that you heal as an MC normally is yourself.
Yeah.
Our demons are normally hidden as an MC.
Yeah.
We rarely can talk in the prophetic abilities that we have because the world will call us fucking crazy.
Yep.
If I know as an MC, and I'm saying to you as my fellow MC, I know there's rhymes in which you got in the stash that if you probably said out loud, even you would think you were crazy.
Yeah, of course.
But God gave that to you, the universe gave that to you.
Yeah.
And for a lot of MCs that, like you said, that are memorable, it's those moments. I still listen to the Far Side passing me by in the vulnerability of that song. And what that song is. It's one of the greatest hip hop songs ever. And they didn't go into it saying we're going to make the greatest hip hop song ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but it is.
It's crazy because, like, with
it
that,
is.
As an artist, right? As a man and as an artist, right? As a man and an artist, you gotta we deal with rejection so fucking much. We deal being an artist plus being a man. Like, rejection is part of your fucking life, completely part of your life, more than other people even understand. So, why not talk about it? Because it happens so fucking much. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, and it's as simple as the rejection of your own mind.
Yeah.
Some shit you can't even say to people because they think you're fucking loony.
Yeah.
Right?
Man.
Or let alone put it into a song.
Yeah. Yeah. That macho shit. You got that with the, with the Latino and black culture, just that you got to be macho all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not about being fucking, the Hulk.
Well, to me, like you said, using age as as a ruler,
Yeah.
a part of being macho is the ability
To be vulnerable.
to say what the fuck is on your mind.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a room full of people and all those people say you're crazy for saying that. Like, I think that's what makes artists artists.
Yeah.
I'm sure Basquiat, when he was creating all of these works of art that we all love and enjoy today, didn't think that, hey, somebody's not gonna like this. He did what he did because it was his purpose. Like this was what the message that the universe sent to him to do.
Yeah.
Like, do you think it's important for MCs to carry that flag of purpose over the idea of it's a job, meaning it's literally just money? Like, all I'm rapping for is money. And how long do you feel like artists have shelf life wise on either scale? I want your opinion.
I think when you come into anything just for the monetary advantage, you're not gonna last. But we've obviously seen motherfuckers last that are just in it for the money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
but they're not by themselves.
no, yeah, they
have a team of people who believe it.
Yeah, they're using, like the best. But you can hear in the music, you can hear the soullessness in the fucking music if that's the case. Like,
can you say that one more time for the people on the west side and east side?
Okay, yeah, it's soulless, man. It's soulless. Like, if you're just doing this shit because you fucking think you're just doing it for money, man, it's soulless, bro. Like, and then also you got, like I know you've had these conversations with people and they've been like, yo, why don't you make a song for the club? And I'm like, nigga, I don't go to the club. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to the strip club. I don't do any of that shit. Why am I gonna make a song about some shit I don't do? Like, that's so un-hip hop too. You know what I'm saying? and
I just gave you an example. The Far Side, Passing Me By, that wasn't a club song, though it was talking about girls.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a very kind of like, that's a song I would listen to at home. I didn't need to go to the club to listen to that song. I listened to that shit in my ride. I watched that shit on, the premiere on, Rap City.
Yeah.
Like I didn't need to hear that in the club to get it. There used to be a space for those artists who could create music that wasn't having to be categorized in someone dancing to it.
Yeah.
Because I believe dancing has a spot. It's fucking ironic. It's so ironic. What's considered or what's supposed to be dance music, motherfuckers don't even dance to it when they're at the club, other than just be there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, everyone's trying to make a dance song.
Yeah.
Does that really cover what hip hop culture is supposed to be? Because not everything is meant to be danced to.
Yeah, I find it funny because like I always tell this story. You never tell a painter, right, who does fucking faces and shit. You don't ask that painter to fucking paint what's it called? To paint fucking a landscape picture.
Right.
So why talk to a rapper who only makes club music to make you something, you know what I'm saying? If that's what they do, I guess that's what they do, But if this dude is making club music because they want to make club music and they love the club and they love the culture, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Just do it for the love. That's all. If you're gonna do shit, do it for the love.
And let me preface this whole entire conversation in that for all of those that their job or their purpose is to do that, salute. We're not talking to you. I'm not talking to them because that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
The conundrum begins where those that may not have that in their future seem to ride that line of doubt in what they should be doing. Like they know what they should be doing. Instead, like we were just talking about, money, trying to be accepted,
Yeah.
Um,
It's about acceptance at the end of the day on all ends. You do it for
Right.
love, you do it for money. You just want to be accepted. We
right,
all want to be fucking accepted, bro. Like I'm a
Right.
middle child, man. I got a bigger chip on my shoulder than most, and it's just about all this shit is about being accepted by your peers, bro.
right. Well, what if the purpose isn't to be accepted? There was a lot of people. I'm gonna IE Public Enemy.
All right.
I'm pretty sure. In fact, I'm 100% positive. I'll go that far. Anybody else want to fucking um, give their opinion on this, please? But I'm pretty sure Public Enemy heard a few times, dude. The hell are you talking about, man? This shit ain't gonna get on the radio. This not gonna get in the club. Nobody's gonna. Yeah. But yet Chuck D said, "Nah, fuck all that.
Yeah.
We're doing this," and that was his mission. There wasn't no 20 Public Enemies.
Yeah.
There was a Paris. There was an X Clan.
Yeah.
There were people
They all
out
sounded
there.
different, man. They all sounded different.
Right, and there were people contributing.
Yeah.
But Public Enemy, i.e. Chuck D, I don't think there was a time in which I ever heard him compromise his purpose.
Mm-hmm.
If he couldn't say what he was going to say, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of MCs, that is the business model.
Word.
Because once again, if you know you have a story to tell, and your story is automatically gonna be different. Because it ain't gonna be like me. It ain't gonna be like I didn't hear you say you was a drug dealer on a block, you weren't running keys. Like your story is unique to you.
Yep.
If you tell your story based on existing business models, there's no reason why there shouldn't be at least 10, 20, maybe 100,000 people that are going to rock with you forever.
Yep.
Just because they get you. Like the universe built probably 100,000 people that get you.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is tell your fucking story.
Yep.
I know I'm simplifying everything simply because I feel like it's not that hard to listen to your purpose. But what say you about that?
I just think that like a lot of people just do shit just to I don't know, man, just do shit just to do shit, bro. Like
well, part of the training is that you describe your upbringing.
Yeah.
You probably didn't know what it was going to be like until you did it, right?
Yeah, and it's also like it's weird that like a lot of people compromise their artistry, right, for gain, right? Like they may come in a certain way, and then after a couple years, they're making totally different music or some shit like that. Like, and I guess I kind of want to be pragmatic about it. Like, you can do whatever you want, you know what I'm saying? But are you being true to yourself? And a lot of cats just ain't. A lot of cats only do shit to get that fucking acceptance and shit, and then so they can move on to the next thing. Because trust me, there are a lot of cats I know from the city that fucking were making the hip hop shit, and now fucking are doing fucking trap shit. You know what I'm saying? And
he's speaking truth to power right now.
But you know, but it is what it is. Like I just think that you know what I'm saying? Like that 10,000 fans, you're right. You're right. Because I don't care about what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? I care about the fans who give a fuck about me in other countries.
Right, that part.
Because the American fan base, especially for the type of music I make, is not as strong as it is, say, in Chile or fucking the UK or something, you know? So
right. Shout out to Nigeria, man. They're really digging what we're doing right now, man. Kudos to everybody. Nigeria's official language is English, so they're listening. They're getting everything we're talking about. So, but I want to speak on what you just said about people kind of switching, if you will. I have no problem with that.
Word.
I think there's a lot of artists that went from one thing to another, or decided to grow what it is that they do, i.e., maybe a CeeLo, i.e., maybe there's a lot of artists out there that have said, you know what, I get this, I'm doing that, but let me switch it up. I think growth shouldn't be beaten upon, because we don't know if the people that they really were originally was not the real, and then they grew into who they were supposed to be. But shit, anyone can fucking say that shit.
Yeah,
because
it works both ways, man. It just works both ways.
Right, because if you're training, some people could say you did everything by the book when you were training, but as soon as you learn what you need to learn, you don't need the book anymore. You don't need to go by the book. You go by your heart.
Word.
And that may not be the same sound you heard when someone was in training. And some people train in public.
Yeah.
So let's continue to move forward, because I do want to talk about the illustrious crews that you're a part of, or you've been a part of, i.e. the Beat Ministry. As an MC, music is everything for you. Talk about what it's like to work with the likes of the Beat Ministry, and to work with people that may not have the same, plan or path as you, but you've been able to figure out ways in which to work with all of these people in a positive way.
Well, working with the Beat Ministry in particular, man, those are my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Those are my brothers. Like, it's just like, going to your cousin's house and y'all just getting beat. We've only known each other to do this. You know what I'm saying? We've only known each other to rap. So like to do beats and the rap. So it's not hard. And the good thing about the Beat Ministry is like we all we're no yes men. Like with my Beer Money brothers, Tech, the intern, and Word Chemist. Like, if something's whack, we let each other know. So it's easy to be comfortable because we know exactly how we're all coming. We're all trying to come with our best shit.
Right. I was honored to do that beat battle, be one of the judges at that beat battle, and I was able to kind of really get to listen to what Beat Ministry was doing.
That was right.
That was that spot over there off of Edgewater.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Austin's, right? The coffee shop?
Nah, that's that spot over there off Edgewater and OBT. It was like...
Oh, Sky Zoo joint.
Yeah, the Sky Zoo joint. Shout out to Sky Zoo.
Shout out to Cub, man. Cub, Debbie Deb.
Cub, Debbie Deb, the whole crew, man. Like that was amazing to kind of really hear it from that perspective and get an idea of what you guys are doing, because even then I was just getting back from Kansas City and still kind of getting my feet wet in what has gone on since I've been gone. And like I said, I may not stand with a lot of people in that regard or this mindset, but I think our sound is very diverse.
Yeah.
Our sound is diverse because as a DJ, for most of my life, DJing out here, you had to be able to DJ all genres of music.
Yep.
New York can't even say that. California can't even say that.
Yeah, because you might be at a party, you might have to play some hip hop and then go to another party, you playing rave music or some shit.
Right. Or
people don't understand
reggae.
It started
just
out here.
Something as simple as reggae music.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, because most of the country is a lot, we don't want to believe it, but it's a lot more segregated than we would like to believe.
Yeah, Orlando's a lot, yeah.
Orlando is a fucking melting pot. You're gonna have a Haitian there. Yeah. How many Haitians you gonna have out in a New York party or New York spot, or California, or maybe even Atlanta, you're gonna have your Dominicans, you're gonna have your Jamaicans, you're gonna have people from St. Thomas, St. Croix out there. Like we were able, and they didn't want to play the bass music. And we know as DJs out here, you got to play everything. We got to play bass, we got to play reggae, we got to play hip hop.
And if you're a true Orlando head, you like all that shit.
All of it.
You like
all of it. And so that shapes your mind simply because all of the stuff you do have to play, you're open to a lot more than a lot of other people. Word. This is why I was saying, like, when it comes to MC and production and seeing what was going on when I got back, I was fucking proud. Yeah. I actually was feeling like, man, it only confirmed my suspicions that, to your earlier point, someone being the realer sound of Orlando, no, that's not the truth. The truth is all of it is encompassed. All of us. Yeah. All of us have a part in this global Orlando sound. A lot of my life was going to maybe a disco on Uncle Al party or Jam Pony party, and going to, the Hitman party, and DJing my own events, in that regard, and playing all of the shit that I play. I feel like we do ourselves a discredit, because we not only do ourselves a discredit by the DJs, but just as a city as a whole, because, dude, we have a lot more knowledge of music than a lot of places. Yeah. Simply because
of other types of genres of music. You know what I mean?
Right. Simply because you couldn't go anywhere and not hear all of it.
Yeah.
The DJs required damn near to play, like you said, EDM, house, fucking tech.
Oh, you got some Slayer in the crate, man. You better play some Slayer too.
Right. Like, we played every fucking thing.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Stranger, man.
Man, but I think part of me hearing the story and telling the story, I think, we are at a space, man, where we need to start realizing the gravity in which we have of the entire nation. Though people came here and took resources and went other places, we had all of those resources. We're Dubai and shit.
Yeah.
We got all the fucking resources.
Yeah.
Talk about what you look for in production.
Shit. I don't know, man. Like, I make music I like to listen to. You know what I'm saying? I make beats I like to listen to. I fucking, I think I found a musical match with Tech the Intern and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't know, man. Like, we look for we look for shit that we'll listen to. Like, if the sample's just in the whip, like, we'll listen to that. Like, we try to look for shit like that, man. We try to just make music we like to make. Like, it could be from fucking the Czech Republic or fucking, you know what I'm saying, Brazil or fucking Japan. We don't care, man. As long as it sounds dope, we'll put it together.
Right.
But it also depends on projects, because sometimes you start recording songs in a pocket of time, and those start sounding a certain way. So you gotta stay in that little pocket. You know what I'm saying? And leave that stuff exactly where it is. So you can't really. Sometimes you can't stray. Like, say, oh shit, we're using a lot of like chordy fucking shit with some saxophones and trumpets and shit. We got to stay in that little vibe while we create this little project or whatever.
Right. I love what you just said. Staying in that pocket, staying in that lane. Do you feel like, because we have the Full Sail here, shout out to all my students from Full Sail, or graduates, if you will.
Shout out to Temperamental, DJ Dolo.
Yep. Shout out to my man, DJ Dolo, man. Of people who just, who have the access, if you will.
Yeah.
or the ability to kind of learn, unlike any other place, there's no Full Sails anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like we have people that went to Full Sail that you can learn from, and
Yep.
people, and Full Sail that you can go to.
Well,
Talk about what that's like when you see the level of production that comes out of here, and are we taken for granted when it comes to production, i.e., the DJ Nasties, the Lennys, the runners, people that not only have made proverbial history by getting Grammys for the city.
but the runners not saying they're from Orlando really bothered me back in the day.
Talk about it, brother. No, this is your moment.
I
Talk
remember reading
about it.
that profile on him, and that shit said from Miami. I got so mad, bro. Yeah, I got so mad. Or even like little shit like Khaled, like not saying that, like people not saying that Khaled went to high school here and shit. It's always something with that shit, man. It's always something.
Nah, man, but you're absolutely motherfucking right.
Yeah.
That when we look back, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just find it really hard to believe that this was a personal choice in its entirety. Yeah, inevitably it was a personal choice.
Yeah, I did want to go back to your Full Sail thing. Like when it comes to production and all that stuff, dude, all the dudes I know that I make music with have no musical training. Nobody Full Sail, nobody did any of that shit. We learned on the fly. I've met a few cats who went to Full Sail and stuff like that, but the reality of anything is you can't teach art. You can't teach a good beat maker at a school. You can't teach someone who's never made a beat to go to a school. They can make a beat, but you can't teach that shit. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta.
And I feel you on that. And Jupiter has almost 300 moons, but they're all affected by Jupiter.
Yeah,
it's no coincidence that we have one of the top schools for recording. Maybe it could only be like compared to Berkeley, School of Music for Berkeley. And that we also have more people that didn't even go to Full Sail that live here, but are surrounded. Yeah, we're in orbit.
Yeah, you know what's wild too about maybe I'm ignorant, but I never see like Full Sail students like at shows. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
I guess it has to do with the schedule and all that shit or something, but they don't really contribute to the scene at all, to be honest with you.
Well, I will have to differ there because not necessarily students, but I know a lot of people that went and taught there. Da Vinci. Da Vinci is one of those people.
Yep, Temperamental's one. Dolo teach there. Yep, X140 used to teach there. Yeah.
Right. There's people that have contributed to the scheme of what Full Sail is and continue to evolve and set the bar for places like Full Sail to build off. I'm in total agreement. School doesn't mean you're trained, but it does offer more energy to a chip. If you know that the best, like it's kind of like we know the Chicago Bulls practice over here, they play, their games over here. It's only going to make the surrounding city that much stronger.
True.
Knowing that Jordan is playing for the Bulls, I just think,
I think it's helped with engineers, mixers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's like art. I know there's an art to mixing, there's an art to all that shit, but when it comes to technical shit, I could see I've definitely learned a lot from those guys.
Plus when you know your bigger, richer brother lives down the road to what you're doing, it just gives you the extra edge to be that doper.
Yeah,
if
because there's
you will.
numerous times I'll hit up Temperamental like, "Yo, fam, like, what?" I'll ask him a question. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, turn this, put this up, or you know, like, I am so fucking grateful that I know dudes who really know how to do this shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
What do you think about the Griselda movement and this push back, if you will, to what hip hop sounded like in the 90s and the kind of dirtier sound, as you will, with the analog and allowing sometimes the vocals to be louder than the beat or allow the vocals to play more of an instrument than they are as the regular pop pocket that vocals tend to stand. You hear a lot of producers now working without drums. They don't even need drums now. Now it's just a melody. Do you credit Griselda for that
No,
change
no.
across the globe?
I credit Rock Marciano for that. He is the father of this shit.
Right.
Salute to the god, Rock Marciano, man.
Do you
But,
think we should all be kind of going that way, or should it be what that is, which is Griselda holding on to that sound and then everyone else building upon it?
I think it's more of a building, because what you're seeing now, and as a producer myself, a beat maker, like the
Right.
beats are fucking lazy, to keep it real. They're dope, but they're lazy. You're just looping up some shit. It's not hard to do, but
Right.
it is hard to do to find the sample. That's the hard part about that, right? And those dudes can spit. And just in case people don't know, when Benny was down here, 2019, us Grand Collab Beat Ministry, we did that. Beer Money Beat Ministry,
Yes.
we did that
Shout
shit.
out to that
You're
whole
welcome. We went to that.
movement.
Yeah.
I was there at the show.
Yeah.
I normally don't go to a lot of shows.
Yep.
That show in particular reminded me of what it was like growing up in Orlando. I felt I was just getting back and I felt like, man, this is dope. This is good. Good shit.
But I do like that New York. I do like that the most popular artists in New York sound like they're from New York now. And I understood why other rappers didn't sound like they were from New York, because them growing up in the early 2000s, the sound had shifted to Atlanta, so that's what they were influenced by.
Right.
You can't be mad at them for that. Like, you can't. But the weird thing is the West Coast always preserves its sound in some way. But
right. So then you can be mad at the audacity.
Yeah.
Because New York is not innocent. And all my New Yorkers, I love you guys.
Yeah.
But there was a moment in time in which New Yorkers felt a superiority complex.
Yeah,
when it came to the South.
The internet killed that. Well, not the internet, but like Outkast niggas killed it. But yeah, like the internet killed the New York superiority that we all thought. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like we were more advanced.
Everybody had access to everything. Yeah. So. But also, when you were talking about the vocals mixing and stuff like that, you got to understand, and I don't think a lot of people understand, like a lot of these cats are putting out these records and barely mixing the fucking songs. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I said what I said, because as a result of what Griselda is doing, the mixing style went back to kind of the way it was when I was growing up, which was
Griselda. I love them niggas, man. I love them.
You record on a 4-track.
Yep.
You highlight what you want to highlight, which is those dudes. You know, Benny the Butcher. You know, you want to highlight the lyricist. All hip hop coming, you know, from back in the days, you could hear there wasn't really a pocket like that. It just, they were up front. They were just as part as the instruments as the samples were. Like they were loud.
Yeah, but you also think about it. Also like my gripe, right, with like a lot of my producer friends' gripes with the shit is it's obviously easy to loop some shit up, right? But like I miss change ups. You know what I'm saying? I miss switch ups. I miss you taking a snare out, cutting the beat out. You know what I'm saying? Like the emphasize.
Right.
Or maybe old school. Maybe this is just an easier way to put shit out because I love the shit. Like I love the shit. But like that's one of my only gripes. I wish there were just more change ups. You know? But how much can you actually change if it's just a loop? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then again, a lot of these like I know specifically with Griselda, they got Beat Butcher who's actually making the sounds. You know what I'm saying? He's conducting the sound, so it's not as crazy. But like you Derringer's making these beats too. Like I just want some change ups. Can I get some change ups, please?
Well, shout out to Mad Lib. He has the same amount of loops that he works with, but there seems to be more changes into what Mad Lib brings to the table.
Yeah,
especially like for Freddie Gibbs. Shout out to Alchemist.
Yeah,
they were nominated for a Grammy.
Great album, great project,
great album. Alfredo, man, great album. And Freddie Gibbs is another example of being okay to be in the space that he's in.
Yeah,
he's this generation's Andre 3000 in the regard of he's rapping over what would be traditional hip hop.
Yeah,
sounding like he's right out of fucking Opalaka.
You know what's funny about? I heard a story about him that like he didn't know who the fuck Mad Lib was. You know, he didn't know any of these cats because he came up in a different type of hip hop.
Right.
You know, so
right. I think that's dope, man. I think
it's dope, and he's still himself on the tracks. That's my thing. Like you can be yourself on these tracks and still, like you can rap on these quote unquote boom bap or whatever shits, and you can still be yourself. Like I can rap on a trap and still be me,
Right. And how important is that? How important is the Bum B's and the Twisters and those that say, you know what, or the King Crookeds, who could get on any track and say, you know what, I'm gonna tell my story.
Yeah.
And the beat is just the soundtrack of that. Do you think a lot of people miss their calling, if you will, or cue to do great shit because they're too caught up in everything having to sound a certain way to do it?
Yeah, like people forget. And I don't know where we went wrong, right? Because me and you are, you know what I'm saying? We're older.
Right.
We went wrong somewhere where we didn't emphasize to the youth that they can't bite another nigga's shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, like you.
Well, that wasn't a person's fault.
Yeah.
That's technology.
Mm-hmm.
Technology creates technology that allows for that to be a lot easier to do.
Yeah, my favorite shit. It can be Korean, Japanese, Alabama. If you rap and you're rapping dope in your accent, that's my favorite shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like UK real rappers. I love them shit because them niggas is rapping about what you do,
And you're alluding to what really needs to be said. Part of the story is your voice.
Yeah.
If your voice cannot be distinguished from someone else and just as powerful, why should anybody listen to it?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's not really the content. You could be saying the right content, but the fact that someone already has your voice, and that's not because that's a coincidence. Normally, that's because someone felt the need to sound like someone else.
Yeah.
To have a chance.
Word. Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, it's almost like copying Jordan's basketball style or copying Kobe's basketball style to be successful.
Which is impossible, but I get your point.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the idea of trying to be something you're not normally backfires in the end. We all run away from who we are until we really realize who we are. Nobody runs to who they are first.
Nope.
They run to the world, man.
Dude, it's been a process. I'm still going through it, man. Like I'm still
like you don't just run to yourself.
Yeah,
because that shit is intense. That's the black hole. That's the Big Bang. That's everything, man. Like that's what you came here to do. That shit is heavy. And what makes it even heavier is that only you fucking know it.
Yep.
You can't even explain that shit to nobody.
Yeah. Like you got, you know what?
It's your cross.
My advice to everyone watching this: every day, look in the mirror, right, and tell yourself you're dope. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a good day, all that bullshit. But also tell yourself that you're a piece of shit. You know, like make sure you know that not everything is okay, man. Like I don't know, man. Like niggas be walking around delusional sometimes, man. Like just
No, you need to be delusional. You need to be crazy.
Yeah.
No one would be a prophet, if you will, and be purposeful with any type of normality. The only normality when it comes to purpose is that person got to go to the bathroom. That person got to go to sleep. Outside of that, they got to be straight fucking Looney Tunes to do what they're doing.
You know what's wild? You think about this, right? If we're gonna talk like evolution, right? The closest animal to us is a chimpanzee, correct?
I'm not gonna say it's correct, but
you know what I mean.
I'll agree with you for the sake of the conversation. Continue, my brother.
You know how evil them niggas are? You know what I'm saying? like you know how evil chimpanzees are, dog? Like you think that we're fucking like you think that you're all encompassing. You're not perfect, man. Like it's okay to not be perfect.
Right. And so using that same scaffold, if you will, that's what makes it so heavy.
Yeah.
That's why your purpose is not heavy on others as much as it is on you.
Word.
You have to go to sleep with that shit every day. Exactly. You have to be hearing those voices in your head. You fucking suck. You didn't even do everything you're supposed to do today, and you put it off to smoke some weed, or you did whatever. Like the idea of the gravity of who everyone is supposed to be. No wonder people are running away from themselves. Because it's not. I mean, shit. I hate to use a biblical term right now, but for the sake of the argument, if Jesus could say, "Why you forsaken me?" then the gravity is hard. Like when you realize I gotta do this.
If you follow the Christian doctrine, like, and the Son of God got crucified, you know, life ain't fair, niggas.
No, but just the statement alone, you don't even have to be a Christian to get the statement or the math within that statement. That means even if what everything was said is true, he still questioned it because of the gravity of it.
Word.
Like I knew I was supposed to help some people, get spit upon, get dissed by my own people. I get all that.
Yeah.
Now you asking me to get on a cross. Come on, bro. Like most people would not sign up for that shit.
Yeah.
If they knew the gravity of who they are, because most of the things we celebrate after someone dies is the shiny objects.
Word.
But when we really look back at their lives, most of their lives was all the shit we should celebrate, which was all the times they got up in the morning, even though they was, made to feel like they're loony for feeling the way that they feel, or writing the way that they write, or making a beat the way that, like RZA, a great example with RZA. Yeah, RZA had similar qualities to getting a loop, and then he said, all right, I don't care if it's off beat. And I don't care if it sounds like it came off an ASR 10, which now everyone loves an ASR 10. I'm an owner of one.
Well, lucky boy.
He did that despite everything else giving an example of that being the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the gravity of what it is to do something the first time?
Yeah, man.
That shit is tough.
Yeah, you're right. It's tough.
It's not glamorous. There's nothing great about it.
No, there's some humans who will jump off the cliff, and there's some humans who never do.
Right. Let's get back to what you guys got brewing here in 2021. After a year of kind of a stalemate for all artists in a real way.
You don't even know how much of a stalemate. I don't even know if I want to rap this year.
Right. Talk about what your plans is moving forward and whether because I look at shit like this, man. If you're a business, you want other businesses to be open to contrast what you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you have hope in your fellow city in what you're doing and what you guys got brewing? And just talk about what you guys got plans for the rest of this year.
Okay, so what we got planned right now is I have a project I got coming out with Traj P from the UK called 11 Hours to Leicester that we're getting the final mixes done on that right now. Me, Tech the Intern, and Word Chemist have a crew called Scumbag Beer Club. We're putting out a project real soon on that. We got a 4-song joint that we're gonna put out right before it for y'all to digest.
Okay.
I got an EP with Juniali already recorded. We just got to get that mixed. And then me and Tech the Intern also have like a 4-pack of joints that we're gonna get together. So we got projects. And then last year, obviously, I dropped Son of Ozone.
Right.
The only thing we're waiting on now, man, is like get these venues open to at least 80% or something, because I feel weird doing a show, with 20% capacity, whatever the fuck they got it at now. I don't even know anymore. I haven't done a show in so long. I'm mad rusty, so I got to go back to fucking open mics and shit and learn how to rap again.
Shout outs to open mic and that whole movement with my man Sniper and Austin's, man, and hopefully those guys work it out.
They're doing it now. I think they're running. I think they're up and running.
No, they're up and running, but now they're facing an issue in which the city wants to bulldoze it to create parking.
Yeah, true.
So shout out to my man Sniper, and hopefully that works out. What he's doing is actually bigger than Austin's. It's going to happen whether it's there or somewhere else. But I know what comfort is to a lot of people, and you don't want our historic venues to be burned down, but sometimes it needs to happen, and sometimes growth is a good thing. Where can people find your music at?
Everywhere they find everybody else's music at. iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp. Just you gotta type in Shinobi, like the video game, Stalin like Joseph, and I come up wherever you listen to music. YouTube, there too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I'm at least somewhat professional in my rap life. You know what I mean?
Right. I do want to say a couple of things before we get out of here. We talked about. I remember we went into. It was either a night that we just met up at the Iron Cow, and we had a really, in my mind, it was a great discussion. Kind of a reintroduction of what I represent here in the city, and me kind of reintroducing myself to all the people that have been doing work since I was gone. But I thought it was a very fruitful conversation. And now we're here, which I know you didn't see coming, because I damn sure didn't see it coming.
No.
But what is this show look like to you guys out there in the hip hop community, from your vantage point?
To me, it looks like pretty much like what Conscious does on the radio for our show.
Yeah.
But in a more online, encompassing a long form interview like this is something a lot of people need to become, to become endearing to people who've never heard them before. So you're basically holding the torch for long form interviews right now, which is very important. People love long form interviews, man. Like doing them on the radio is fun because you got the little breaks, got to play your music, Me and you were just chopping it up for an hour and some change, and fucking, you know what I'm saying? And what's dope is you actually fucking pay attention, and you have enough insight because you've been in Orlando for so damn long. You know what the fuck's going on. Right. And I appreciate you for that. Thank you for even thinking of me. Come on here, man. I started names, and I was like, damn, nigga, I'm never gonna get on that shit.
Well,
like,
that's completely amazing. That's completely amazing that you see it that way, and I love hearing how people are viewing it. I learned something new today. Long form. I went to college, and I think I got my bachelor's degree in business, and I don't know if I ever heard long form or even paid attention to it. So I learned something new today. This is a long form interview.
yeah,
I think that's great. Um, it was none of this is intended
yeah,
outside of the story. Like my whole mission for guys like yourself, the people that you represent, um, is to tell our story.
yeah,
I don't know what that looks like, or what
yeah,
that's going to sound like, or what's that going to end up looking like. But I know it's important to fucking me. I know
yeah.
it's important to people out there who have no voice in this city
Word.
and feel like they've been living here like a tourist for 20 or 30 years. Like we ain't got nothing to call out on outside of the Magic and the Lions and the Orlando police. Like really? Like nobody gives a fuck about this place like that? Like
Yeah, man.
even the police can't give a fuck about it enough to call it Orlando police. I just think like we're in this space right now where, to your point, hearing what Shinobi thinks about his city, how he's come through this motherfucker, how he's continuing to evolve in this city,
Man,
is
Orlando.
not just about your age group.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about
Orlando.
everybody coming behind you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's also about, realizing, because a lot of cats don't want to teach the youth. Don't want to, like you gotta get to the young ones, man. You gotta talk to them. You gotta
Right.
gotta let them know what's up. You gotta let them know the history. Like if you don't let them know what has gone on in the city or what goes on in the city, how do you expect them to elevate above you?
Right. Right. Man. Last question of tonight.
Word.
You see what's going on out here. You see the climate, um, whether it's racism, whether it's um, the virus, whether it's fear, whether it's just kind of a reevaluation of one's life, if you will, for a lot of people. If you had something to say tonight to the city, and outside of just you being this artist or icon for our city, what would you tell the city and why?
Um, I tell them Beer Money Unlimited is coming. Tell them Grand Collab got some great shit coming. Beat Ministry got some great shit coming. But honestly, I would just say, like, yo, man, we're about to be open soon, guys. Just yeah, man, we're about to be open again. So just we're gonna get back to normal soon. And when we get back to normal, then we can all sit at the table and figure out what the fuck we want to do with the city, man. Like we're still in a slight holding pattern, but if you love Orlando, rep Orlando. You know what I'm saying? I don't care where you from. I don't care how you rap, what you rap about. Just rep the city, man. Just rep the city. That's all I ask. That's all I ask, man.
Man, dude, he's been dropping bombs all night, but I think that was probably the thing that we will remember from the show. My man Shinobi said, rep the city. We need that right now. We need solidarity in what we're trying to do as a collective out here. You're always welcome back on the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah,
dope.
man. You already know. And like I said, bro, it just as much as may have been an honor for you to be on the show, it was an honor for me to have you on the show.
Thank you for everything you're doing for the city, man, because you've been doing it for a long time, man. I'm under you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm under you. So I'm trying to learn by your example. I'm trying to do by your example. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate your family. We respect what you're doing. Please go out and support this brother. He is our hip hop representation out here. Like he said, he dropped an album last year. They're about to drop some new shit coming up. Shinobi Stalin, get used to his name and support the brother. And also, too, Portions of this show will be on radio. So
Word.
if you would like to send me a drop, Sound of Orlando show with your boy Rome, and anything else you want to put around it, send
I'll
it to the
do that right
email.
after. We're in the office. We got an office in Altamont, man.
Please send that over, bro. Like I said, bro, the city's proud of you. I'm proud of you. It's about building coalitions of the willing.
Yep.
And we're willing here on the show to support our people in the city, regardless to where they're living at, what they're doing. It's about us as a collective family, and it's about our city right now, bro. So salute to you, bro.
Oh, salute to you, man. Thank you.
Big it up. Give it up to my man, the legendary MC Shinobi Stalin, joining the Soul Show tonight, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Yo.
Man, shouts out to all my peoples who tuned in tonight. My peoples, Jerry, Me Nice, the legendary Jesse Jazz. Without this, none of this could be put together. Shout out to you. If you need printing in the city, go hit up my man, 5stargraphics.com, the legendary DJ, promoter, and graphic design artist in the city. Go hit that man up, man. He is important, and support our Black businesses. And shout out to anybody else that was on the check-in tonight, man. We love you. Thank you for all your support. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Chris. Man, it's just been a great night. Last night of the week, I just want to leave with these words. If for any reason you feel the need to talk to someone, there's always a phone number. Do not feel like you're alone in this period of time. We are all fighting our demons. And so the fight we're in together. I love all of you guys. Instead of finding something wrong with someone, why don't you take that time out, that moment in time, to tell them how much you love them? How about that? That would be a great thing to set off the weekend and maybe the rest of the month. And we love you guys, man. This is for y'all. We need it. We deserve it. And it's about goddamn time. Sound of Orlando show with your boy Rome. Love y'all.
Live on stage, the sound.
Of Orlando.
So, if they ready,
Yes.
the sound.